Okay, so in this video here, it's going to be pretty straightforward because we're talking about the change of base formula, and this is very, very easy to understand. And so when you're trying to evaluate a logarithm and you're trying to do that in your calculator, by default, your calculator will always put log in with a base of 10. So if you have a logarithm that is not a base of 10 and you want to evaluate it, you can use the change of base formula here. And again, it's very easy to understand here. You can see that I have log base b of x. If I want to evaluate that, I can rewrite it as log x over log base. And I'll show you how it will work out on a few examples. That way you have exposure to it. But again, it is fairly straightforward. So let's go ahead and take a look at our first example here. So here's our first example. And again, by default, you will not be able to plug this into your graphing calculator because again, your graphing calculator or calculator will put log in with a base of 10 by default. And typically you're not able to change that base unless of course, maybe you have a newer graphing calculator and you're able to do that. But most of the calculators that you are going to have, you will not be able to change the base here. So if you want to evaluate, you are going to do log of 5 all over log of 2. So you're going to plug that into your calculator and that will give you your answer. So when you do that, you get 2.32 rounding to the nearest hundredth. So I'm going to go ahead and say here, this is going to be about 2.32. Okay, let's go ahead and try another example. So here's our next example. And again, in this case here, we're going to do log of a half over log of 9. Again, log x over log base. So my half here is really like my x. My 9 is my base. So plugging that into your calculator, you are going to get the following. You are going to get about negative 0.3 and rounding to the nearest hundredth, we'll say 2 here. Okay, so negative 0.32. All right, let's go ahead and try one more example. So here's our next example. In setting it up, we're going to have log 26 all over log 12. And again, we're going to plug this into our calculator. And when you do that, you get 1.31. Again, we are going to round it to the nearest hundredth. So 1.31 about, right? And there it is. So that is the change of base formula. Very, very straightforward. That is how you can evaluate a logarithm in your calculator if you do not have a base of 10. So I hope that you found the video helpful. I hope that you gained something from it. If the video did in fact help you, if you could just go ahead and give it a thumbs up, that'd be greatly appreciated. Also, make sure you subscribe. That way you get more math videos in the future, and I'll see you in the next one.